students, this is your Vaibhav Muthin sir. Here we will discuss about the topic called as polynomials. As you all know that in our online classes through free conference call, we have completed the polynomials chapter. So those students who have missed the class, we are recording this video so that it will be helpful for you even if you feel somewhere any problems you have not understood or you have any doubts. Okay, so coming to that topic, the chapter name, according to the syllabus, it is the second chapter and it is known as polynomials. Coming to these polynomials, for your exam point of view, in algebra part, it comes under algebra part. As I have discussed the constructors, okay, algebra part consists of totally 20 marks, and in that 20 marks, polynomial is going to cover around 4 marks or 5 marks. This polynomials chapter you are studying right from class 8, that is understanding quadrilaterals. In understanding quadrilaterals, there was something called as types of quadrilaterals. Okay, if n value is 1, linear, n value 2, okay, of two variables, n value is 3, triangles, n value 4, polynomials, 5, penta, 6, hexa, so all you have studied already in 8th standard. When you come to 9th standard, again the same individual topic, polynomials. You have discussed like what is the standard form, degree of a polynomial, types of polynomial, algebraic identities, etc. So in simple, if I want to say, what do you mean by polynomials means? If you split this polynomials, okay, poly means many, nomials means terms. Many terms are said to be polynomials. Okay, again it has been classified polynomials based on terms, based on degree. That we'll see later. Now coming to what is the standard form of this polynomial. You have studied last year, it was something like an x to the power n, an minus 1 x to the power n minus 1 plus an minus 2 x to the power n minus 2, so on up to a1x plus a0. And whenever we asked in exam and all, many of you face difficulty to remember, some they have by hearted and all. The easy way to remember this standard method is, only thing is you have to remember this an x to the power n, then keep on reducing. Okay, so if you remember an x to the power n, it's enough. Then keep on reducing the term, n minus 1 x to the power n minus 1, an minus 2 x to the power n minus 2, so on it will continue up to a2 x square a1x plus a0. a0 is the constant term here. X square x to the power n minus 2, these are said to be variables, unknown term x value. Okay, an minus 1, an minus 2, these will be the coefficients of this particular x. What is the coefficient of x to the power n? If they ask, you have to say it is an. What is the coefficient of x to the power n minus 2? If they ask, you have to say a to the power n minus 2, and so on. And this is constant term. And each and every term are separated by the arithmetic operator, either plus or minus. Generally, we take it as plus. So this is regarding the standard form of polynomials. And remember, this n is said to be degree of the polynomial. And the degree of the polynomial should always be a whole number. Remember, n is called as degree of the polynomial. And the degree of polynomial should always be a whole number. And whole number starts from 0, 1, 2, 3, so on. Okay, so this is regarding the standard form of polynomial. And its terms, what is n, what is the an minus 1, x to the power n minus 1, and so on. Now coming to classification. If you come to classification, as I said you earlier, polynomials is classified based on terms, based on degree. Polynomial is classified based on terms based on degree. Now coming to terms, okay, how it is classified based on terms means it is monomial, binomial, trinomial, and so on. If you want to go based on degree, it is linear polynomial, okay, then quadratic polynomial, then cubic polynomial, biquadratic, so on. Many of you know up to biquadratic. Even we can know after the next biquadratic. See, coming to monomial means it should have single term, not more than one term. For example, x. Okay, for example, 3x. It is monomial, having only single term. Binomial, two terms, separated by either plus or minus sign. Ax plus b. Even though it is a standard form of linear polynomial, two terms, general I am saying. Okay, you can write even this as 3x plus 4. Trinomial, three terms, then polynomial, so on. Okay, now coming to linear polynomial. Okay, the standard form of linear polynomial is ax plus b equal to 0. The standard form of linear polynomial is ax plus b equal to 0. Means it has only one variable, that is x, unknown term, and the value here it will be x equal to minus b by a. Plus b will take it to RHS, it will become minus b. A, which is the coefficient of x, it will come to the RHS denominator, so it will be minus b by a. Okay, so it has a unique solution. Coming to quadratic means 2, degree 2. Its standard form is ax square plus bx plus c. The degree of the polynomial, always a whole number. Now here the degree is 2, means it has 2 roots. So what are those roots and all, we'll learn in the next part. Cubic polynomial, degree 3, means 3 roots. Biquadratic, degree 4, 4 roots. It may be 0, 0, 0, 1, 2, 3, minus, plus, whatever. Okay. Then after biquadratic, we have something called as quintic. Okay. It has a degree 5. After quintic, hexic. Okay. Hexic, its degree is 6. After hexic, we have heptic. Heptic means 7. After heptic, octic, nonic, and decic. So many such things are there of classification of polynomials. This is more than enough to remember. Okay, this is the brief introduction about the polynomials. Now coming to what are the things which are we going to learn in this polynomials chapter. Okay, so that we'll discuss. So topics which we are going to deal in this polynomials chapter is first one, okay, geometrical representation of quadratic polynomial. Okay, after geometrical representation, relationship between zeros and coefficients of quadratic polynomial or cubic polynomial. Cubic polynomial, concept based questions. Okay, then last is dam. Don't think it as some dams like Krishnaraja Sagar Dam and all. It is division algorithm method. Division algorithm method. Okay, so these are the three important things which we are going to discuss here. So what are those? We'll learn one by one. That is, first we'll learn what is geometrical representation of quadratic polynomial. Means with the help of graph only, I can say how many number of roots are there for that particular quadratic polynomial, or cubic or quintic, biquadratic, etc. Relationship between coefficients of zeros of quadratic and cubic polynomial. Then lastly, division algorithm method. Division algorithm is almost similar to your long division method which you learnt in 9th standard. Okay, so I hope now this brief introduction you have understood now. After this, we'll learn one by one, that is geometrical representation. Based on that, graph with examples, then relation, then finally division algorithm method. So this completes the entire polynomials chapter, and which carries around 4 to 5 marks. Thank you. Okay, as with the introduction part, now we'll go to the actual concept of your chapter polynomials. Coming to the very first thing, that is geometrical representation of polynomials. In this, we can represent geometrically, means through graph, linear polynomial, quadratic, cubic, whatever. Okay, so for your concept, you have quadratic polynomial. Okay, now quadratic means degree 2. The standard form of quadratic polynomial is ax square plus bx plus c equal to 0, where a is not equal to 0. Why a should not be equal to 0 means, if a is equal to 0, the term is reduced to linear, bx plus c, standard form of linear polynomial. The degree of this polynomial is any and nothing means 1. Okay, so that becomes a linear polynomial. So the condition for quadratic polynomial is a should not be equal to 0. Even we say this as a quadratic equation also. Okay, that even we have in the 4th chapter, there we'll learn about quadratic equation details. Okay, so quadratic polynomial ax plus bx plus c, ax square plus bx plus c is equal to 0. Okay, so this is the standard form. Now coming to this, how it is represented geometrically, we have graph. Generally, this we know as a Cartesian plane, which you have learned in the last year coordinate geometry chapter. Okay, now usually quadratic polynomial is represented by something called as parabola. Okay, this is upper side parabola, this is face down parabola, facing downwards. Downward parabola, upward parabola. When it will be upward parabola means if a value is greater than 0. Okay, 1, 2, 3, so on. When will it be downward? If a value is less than 0. This kind of parabola and all you will learn in PUC straight lines chapter or conic section in 2nd year. Okay, there also we have equations for parabola, like something that equation is y square equal to 4ax, depending upon the axis, how it intersects along x axis, y, negative x axis, negative y axis. Generally y square equal to 4ax if it is intersecting along the x axis. So this parabola separately you will learn. There you will learn how to find foci, okay, center, everything, eccentricity, whatever such concepts you will learn in the higher studies. Just remember this as a parabola. It is called as parabola. Fine. Upward parabola means a value greater than 0. Downward parabola means a value is less than 0. Okay, so based on this, we will come to know how many number of zeros are there in particular polynomial. Now you may ask, sir, how do we find that? How will come to know? We have to always see along this x-axis, means x dash x-axis. How many number of curves are intersecting along this axis? Those many number of roots or zeros will be there for that particular polynomial, and based on that roots, okay, I can say which type of polynomial it is. Now coming to this example itself, Here it is intersecting only at one point, means it has one roots. Even it may intersect in this fashion. Okay, along x-axis I said. How many times it is intersecting? 1, 2. Totally 2 roots. So in this way we can say how many number of roots are there but that particular polynomial. So generally it is said as a geometrical representation of polynomials. Let me explain you with some examples of this geometrical representation. It should intersect only along x-axis. It should not intersect apart from x-axis. Okay, need not to worry if it is intersecting along y-axis. If it is intersecting even at the origin, you have to consider, because x and y axis together they intersect at particular point O. That O is called as origin. There we will be having x value as 0 and y value as 0. So x value 0 means we have to consider that. Okay, I will explain you with the examples. Let me draw some graph. Think that there is one graph of this fashion, linear, one more in this fashion, one in this way. Okay, one more graph facing upward, and one more in this way. What I said, always along x and x dash axis. Okay, now here even it is intersecting along y axis, need not to worry, we don't have any y value, we have only x values because standard form. If you write standard form in y axis, then we can count in that way, but generally x, we usually take unknown terms or unknown variable as first assume it as x. So that unknown term we can get through this x and x dash axis. Okay, now see here, if you look at carefully, this linear graph is intersecting along x axis at one point. We don't know what is this point. What is this value actually? But it is intersecting along one axis. So I can say the number of zeros for this particular polynomial is 1. Now come to second figure. If you see here, where it is intersecting 1, 2, 3. Even it is intersecting along y axis, but you need not to consider this. Only along the x axis. Okay, abscissa. Y means ordinate. Together coordinates. How many times it is intersecting? 1, 2, 3. Totally 3 roots are there. I can say this as cubic polynomial because it has 2 roots. It has only one root. I can say it as linear. Coming to this one, facing downward means somewhere a value might be less than 0. But how many times it is intersecting? 2 times. So it has 2 roots and it is called as quadratic polynomial. Now see here, neither it is intersecting along x-axis, neither it is intersecting along y-axis. It is somewhere in the first quadrant. Usually they are classified as quadrants. 1, 2, 3, 4. It is in the first quadrant and nowhere it is intersecting along x-axis. Then the number of zeros or roots here is 0. It is called as a zero polynomial also, or a constant polynomial. Next, coming to this, again 2 points it is intersecting, so number of roots will be 2 and it is called as quadratic polynomial. So this is what your first exercise deals with. Okay, what is your first exercise deals with? Geometrical representation of polynomials. If you go through your textbook NCERT, you can see first exercise, by seeing graph we have to say how many number of zeros or roots are there. If you want, you can mention even which type based on the roots. Now, coming to the next concept, that is relationship between zeros and coefficients of quadratic polynomial. Okay, relationship between zeros and coefficients of quadratic polynomial. Okay, the next concept of your second exercise, finding the relationship between zeros and coefficient of quadratic polynomial. How do you define quadratic polynomial? P of x is equal to ax square plus bx plus c. Okay, for this particular quadratic polynomial, I have to find the relationship between zeros. So, since the degree of this polynomial is 2, I will take, let alpha and beta be the zeros of this particular polynomial. Because the root degree is 2, means it will be having two x value, either equal or unequal. Okay, that is called as nature of roots also. That we'll discuss in the quadratic equation chapter. Since the degree is 2, so I will assume that alpha and beta be the zeros. Okay, be the zeros of quadratic polynomial. Now, how to find sum of zeros and product of zeros? Okay, here we have to find actually sum of zeros, that is alpha plus beta, and one more is alpha beta, product. Okay, sum of zeros, the formula is minus coefficient of x divided by coefficient of x square. Again, product of zeros, constant term by coefficient of x square. Now check this equation. We have x square. What is the x square coefficient? A. We have x term, coefficient is b, and we have constant term c. Now what is this minus sign? I will keep now as usual. Coefficient of x is b, so that I will write it as minus b. Coefficient of x square is a divided by a. So this implies sum of zeros alpha plus beta equal to minus b by a. Product of zeros, constant term, constant is c, and coefficient of x square is a, which implies alpha beta equal to c by a. We have proof also. Okay, it is not for your syllabus, but I will explain you, because you may ask, sir, why we should take minus coefficient of x by coefficient of x square? Why can't we take reverse of this? Even you may ask, sir, why this constant we have to take in product of zeros only? Why can't we take in the sum of the zeros? This kind of doubts you might be having. Okay, so let me do that proof of why alpha plus beta is minus b by a. Sum of zeros is minus b by a, and product of zeros, that is alpha beta, is equal to c by a. We have that derivation also. That derivation is not for your exam point of view, only for your understanding. So for your understanding, I am going to explain you about that. Okay. So what I said, as alpha and beta are the zeros of the polynomial ax square plus bx plus c. Okay. Let k be any constant term. Okay, since alpha and beta are the roots of the quadratic polynomial, I will take it as x minus alpha into x minus beta. Okay, why minus? Because if you have taken alpha and beta as the roots or zeros of the polynomial, then x will be equal to alpha and x will be equal to beta. If alpha goes to LHS, what it will become? X minus alpha equal to 0 and x minus beta equal to 0. So only x minus alpha into x minus beta. Now what I will do, this RHS part I will write it as usual, ax square plus bx plus c is equal to k into multiply term x into x, x square, x into minus beta is minus beta x. Okay, first term x, I am multiplying with these two terms x and minus beta. Then come to second term, minus alpha into x is minus alpha x. Minus into minus plus alpha into beta will be alpha beta is equal to k into x square. If you look at this, here also minus x, I can take minus x common, remaining will be beta plus x, beta plus alpha beta. So rearranging the term, it will be k into x square minus of alpha plus beta x plus alpha beta. And what is LHS part? Ax square plus bx plus c. I will mark this as equation number 1, Roman number 1. Now if look at this, I can compare the coefficients. How I can compare? Now this constant term will multiply, it will become kx square. With the help of this, I am just multiplying the bracket term. Kx square minus k into alpha plus beta of x plus k into alpha beta. Take it as Roman number 2. Okay, LHS part again, ax square plus bx plus c. If you compare LHS and RHS, we have certain x square terms, we have certain x terms, and then we have constant. So what I am going to do is equating the coefficients of x square, x and constant. Equating like coefficient of x square and all, you learn in something chapter called as partial fractions. If you go to PUC second year, in integration there we have partial fractions where we will compare the coefficients. Okay, so that you learn when you go to PUC. Now when I compare this, the coefficient of x square, LHS part x square coefficient is a is equal to RHS x square coefficient is k, a is equal to k, equation number 1. Compare now x coefficient. Okay, b is equal to, here it is minus a sign. Many of you will get confused. In hurry you will write simply k of alpha plus beta. No, check what is sign. If here it is nothing means it is plus. But here we have minus sign. So this is minus k into alpha plus beta. I'll mark it as equation number 2. Then last constant term, c is equal to k into alpha beta, equation 3. First I have compared coefficients of x square, LHS a, RHS k, a equal to k, equation number 1. LHS b, coefficient of x, b, LHS, RHS minus k into alpha plus beta, equation 2. Now coefficient of constant term, LHS c, RHS k into alpha plus beta. Now see here, I got some k value as a. Substitute equation 1 in 2 and 3, you will get sum of the zeros and product of the zeros. Let me solve that. Substitute equation 1 in 2 and 3. So wherever there is k, I will substitute a. B is equal to minus a into alpha plus beta. Okay, a, take it to the denominator of LHS, b by a is equal to minus of alpha plus beta, minus sign, take it to LHS, minus b by a is equal to alpha plus beta. Therefore, alpha plus beta is equal to minus b by a. This is how we get sum of zeros, alpha plus beta as minus b by a. Now substitute again equation 1 in 3. What is 3 equation? C is equal to k value, I said to substitute as a. C is equal to a into alpha beta. C value, take it to the denominator of LHS, c by a is equal to alpha beta. Therefore, product of zeros, alpha beta equal to c by a. This is how we prove the sum of the zeros and the product of the zeros of a quadratic polynomial. I hope you have understood this. Okay, so now by this, once again quickly, standard form of quadratic polynomial is p of x is equal to ax square plus bx plus c. A should not be equal to 0. The degree of this polynomial is 2, so it should have 2 roots. So I have taken alpha and beta as 2 zeros or roots of the particular polynomial p of x. So since alpha and beta have taken it as roots, let x be alpha and x be beta. Alpha and beta, if I take it to LHS, it will become x minus alpha and x minus beta. Now compare these two. K is nothing but some constant term. It might be any constant term. With the help of that, Now multiply the term, you will get certain equations 1 and 2. Compare the coefficients of, equate the coefficients of x square, x and constant of equation 2. From Roman number 2, compare the coefficient of x square. X square coefficient, LHS is A, RHS is K. Comparing the coefficient of x, LHS is B, RHS is minus K. Sign is important here, minus K of alpha plus beta. Then coming to the constant term, LHS term is C, RHS term is K into alpha plus beta. Now if you go through this equation 1, 2 and 3, the value of A here something is K. Okay, so wherever there is K, I will just substitute as A. So I will write substitute equation 1 in 2 and 3. Okay, so B as usual, in place of K, I will substitute A. A I will take it to the denominator of LHS, minus sign I will shift it to LHS, so alpha plus beta will become minus B by. So this is how we get sum of the zeros. Product of the zeros, again wherever there is K, I have substituted as A. Okay, then A take it to the denominator, then alpha beta as usual, so product of zeros is alpha beta equal to C by. So this is how the relationship between zeros and coefficients of quadratic polynomial is derived. Okay, this is sum of the zeros, this is product of the zeros. So with the help of quadratic equation, I can verify the relationship. Now what if sum of the zeros and product of the zeros are given? Even I said cubic polynomial also. Even you can prove cubic polynomial in the same manner by taking x minus alpha, x minus beta, x minus gamma, equating and all. But since it is not for your syllabus point of view, so no need to go into brief derivation. But I will tell you the equation for that. Now, if you want to go for cubic polynomial, okay. Now, what is standard form of cubic polynomial? P of x is equal to ax cube plus bx square plus cx plus d. The degree of the polynomial here is 3. So, I have to take alpha, beta and gamma as the zeros of the cubic polynomial. Now, based on this, we have three formulas, that is sum of zeros, sum of product of zeros, and finally product of zeros. Now sum of zeros means adding all this alpha plus beta plus gamma. Sum of product of means alpha beta plus beta gamma plus gamma alpha. Okay, then product of zeros means alpha beta gamma equal to, remember, first minus sign, second plus sign, third one also minus sign. We have proof for this. As I have proved quadratic polynomial, in the same way also we can prove cubic polynomial. But since it is not for your syllabus, we have not have any derivation of that. Okay. Now, how to remember this? Sum of zeros, adding all these three, product of zeros, alpha beta gamma. Sum of product of zeros, SOP, sum of product of zeros means alpha beta plus beta gamma plus gamma alpha, A, B, B, C, C, A. Kind of a commutative law multiplication in that way, alpha beta plus beta gamma plus gamma alpha. Remember this sign convention, minus plus minus. Denominator should be always the coefficient of the highest degree. Quadratic polynomial, degree was x square, so its coefficient was A, so we divided there A. Cubic polynomial, x cube, again it will be A, so I have divided with A. After x cube, what is the next term? X square, what is its coefficient? B. So that B I will write it here, minus B. After x square, which is the next coefficient? X. And what is its coefficient of x? C. C by A. Then lastly, constant, that is D by. So this is the formulas for sum of zeros, sum of product of zeros and product of zeros of a cubic polynomial. Fine. So this is one concept. Moving to, here we learn finding the relationship between and verifying the results. But how to form a quadratic polynomial and a cubic polynomial? if sum of zeros and product of zeros are given. Once again, the question may be like formation of quadratic polynomial and cubic polynomial if its zeros are given. Okay, how to form a quadratic polynomial and a cubic polynomial if its zeros are given. So let us learn that. Coming to first, that is quadratic polynomial. If sum of zeros, what are sum of zeros? Alpha plus beta. What is product of zeros? Alpha beta. If these two values are given, then how to form a quadratic polynomial means it is x square minus sx plus p equal to 0. This is sum, this is p product. What is sum value? Alpha plus beta. X square minus of alpha plus beta x plus alpha beta equal to 0. If you substitute the value of alpha plus beta and alpha beta, you can frame a quadratic polynomial. Similarly, for cubic polynomial, okay, sum of zeros is alpha plus beta plus gamma. Okay, sum of product of zeros is alpha beta plus beta gamma plus gamma alpha. Then product of zeros is alpha beta gamma. Now how to form a cubic polynomial means by using cubic polynomial means x cube minus sx square, s means sum of zeros, plus SOP, sum of product of zeros into x minus product of zeros. Now substitute the values, x cube minus of alpha plus beta plus gamma of x square plus alpha beta plus beta gamma plus gamma alpha of x minus alpha beta gamma equal to 0. So this is the equation to find cubic polynomial if sum of the zeros, sum of product of zeros and product of zeros are given. So this is the entire concept of your second exercise, that is how to find the relationship between the coefficients and the zeros of quadratic and cubic polynomial. Then how to form a quadratic polynomial and a cubic polynomial if its sum of zeros and product of zeros, or sum of zeros, sum of product of zeros or product of zeros are given. Okay, so this is the brief introduction. Now let us see some examples regarding this so that it will be clear to you like how the problems is to be done. Let me first take some solved example problem and then we'll move to some random problems of your exercise. So already you might be having textbooks and all. Okay, so from those textbooks only I have gone through some problems, so we'll discuss these problems. Coming to the first one, like they may ask question as find the zeros of the following quadratic polynomial and verify the relationship between the zeros and coefficient. First I have to find zeros. Then once I find the zeros, I have to verify with the relationship between. Now how is that? Let us see. Coming to the first problem, think that they will give equation as x square minus 7x plus 10. It's a quadratic polynomial. Okay, so how to solve that problem? First I have to find zeros, means factorize. Factorization, you know, splitting the middle term, multiply first this last constant term and first term. Adikil product anti. And once you get, either you add those or subtract those and you should get that middle term. So sum of the zeros. Okay, now this is the quadratic polynomial. Coming to the solution of it, let p of x be equal to x square plus 7x plus 10. It is in the form of, it is said as in the form of these three lines. Okay, we can say it as in the form of ax square plus bx plus c. If here is nothing, means 1, so the value of a is 1, b value is 7 and the C value is 10. First step is noting down in the standard form and mentioning the coefficient values of x square, x and a constant, that is 1, 7 and 10. This is step 1. Okay, coming to step 2. Okay, step 2 is factorization. Okay, how to factorize? Again, x square plus 7x plus 10 be equal to 0. Multiply last and first term, 10x square. What are the multiples of 10? Either 10 ones are or 1 tens are. Okay, 5 twos are or 2 fives are. These are the multiples of 10. Now either I have to add or subtract this possibility to check whether the middle term will be 7 or no. 10 plus 1, 11. 10 minus 1, 9. We cannot do it. And here it is plus sign. 1 minus 10, it fails. So these two conditions fail. Come to this. 5 plus 2, 7. Okay, or 2 plus 5, 7. So this condition holds good. Even it might be plus 3. So at that time we may do 5 minus 2. Here it might be minus 10 and all. Various form of quadratic rule. But according to this question, I need 7. So these two conditions are possible. So I can take either 5 and 2 or 2 and 5. One and the same. So this can be written as 5x, 2x. If I add these two, it will be 7x. If I multiply these two, it will be 10x square. Now write those. X square plus 5x plus 2x plus 10 is equal to 0. In these two terms, we have to split. Okay. What are the common in these two terms? X is common, so I can take it as x plus 5. In these two terms, again I will write it as x plus 5 so that these two will match. Okay. Then plus 2 equal to 0. In these two, x plus 5, why I have taken 2? 2 into x will be 2x, 2 into 5 will be 10. X plus 5 into x plus 2 is equal to 0. So x plus 5 will be equated to 0 and x plus 2 will be equated to 0. Value of x will be 5 and value of x will be minus 2. Now going for verification. When you go for verification, since we got now two roots, I will take one as alpha minus 5, beta as minus 2. Even you can take alpha as minus 2, beta as minus 5. Choice is yours. Whatever roots now we got, we have to now verify the result. Okay. So for that purpose, one value I will take it as minus alpha, one value I will take it as beta. Alpha as minus 5, beta as minus 2. What is first one? Sum of zeros. Sum of zeros, alpha plus beta equal to minus b by 8. Alpha value is minus 5, beta value is plus of minus 2 is equal to. Be careful, this minus sign already is in the formula. Value of b is 7, value of a is 1. Minus 5 minus 2 equal to minus 7, minus 7 is equal to minus 7. Both the numbers are same sign, so we are adding it. So sum of zeros is verified. Next comes product of zeros. Second one, product of zeros. Alpha beta equal to c by a. Alpha value minus 5, beta value minus 2. C value, it is 10, a value again minus into minus plus, 5 2s are 10, 10 is equal to 10. Even the product of zeros verified. So this is how we solve the problem. Write the standard form, mention ABC value, do factorization, you will get 2x value. Take those as alpha and beta and verify with the sum and product of zeros. This is how you have to solve the problems. Thank you.